I don't know what Tim's laughing at us about.
Tim's
How's
laughing.
everybody doing? Tim just likes to laugh.
Doing well.
Awesome. Well, I'm Derek. It's good to see everybody again. And for the moment, I'm joined with Kyler Chavez, our Midland store manager, Stephen, who's been kind of the brainchild behind a lot of the stuff we're talking about today. And then our good friend Rick out in Georgia, who kind of engineers, and he's going to talk to us a little later on about how you guys get to participate in what we're doing. We've also got the other stores in the waiting room, all wanting to come in. I just got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about this. But I got a few house cleaning things I want to do first. Everybody knows the governor said that on Friday, retail stores can open back up. And, as a retailer, I'm always looking for a chance to pay my employees. So I'm not necessarily against anything or for anything. I'm trying to take the middle road here. But I do want to encourage y'all and tell you how we're going to handle that. Intune Music and Sound, all 4 locations. We will open back up on Friday, but according to the way he put it out in his order or edict or whatever you want to call it, 25% of capacity is what we're supposed to have in the store at any given moment. I'm going to tell you that there's probably people not ready for retail stores to open back up. I'm going to tell you that our employees may be even a little apprehensive to have a full store full of people. So I hope that you have your kind face on, your patient pants, and realize that we're going to work through this thing together. We do want to provide you with the stuff you need, obviously. We've been doing online order fulfillment. We've been doing some curbside prior, and that will start again. And we've been doing that this week. So we do want to get you the stuff we need. We want you to help us, though. If you're not feeling well, this is still a thing, okay? Don't go to the music store. And as much as we love hanging out with you, we actually kind of hope that you don't think you want to come hang out for 5 hours. If you need something, come see us. We're going to help you. We're going to get through this. And then on the 18th, it moves to 50%, and we'll work back into this thing together. We don't want to be rude. We love you guys. We want to be your music store. We are the local brick and mortar, and we are proud of that and think that's important. But let's be considerate for everyone's sake, and let's be smart about how we do this. We'll be wearing masks in the store on the showroom floors. We actually hope you will be wearing a mask when you come in to see us, at least until everybody knows that we're good to go. So we're not afraid. We're just trying to be smart, trying to use some wisdom. So that's that part. We had that question on our Facebook earlier today. When are you going to open back up? Friday morning, 10 o'clock. And we'll figure out what the right number is to be 25% of capacity. So said all that. Anything else we need to say, guys, about that? We got it? Good. All right. I'm going to share with you real quick. Stephen has gotten us so excited. Stephen and I started talking. I don't remember how long ago we started this conversation, Stephen, but Stephen has been recording from home. He got to the point where he had musical ideas that he wanted to express, and he was looking for a way to do it. And he told me when he started doing it, he said, I'm just going to start using GarageBand. And I'll be honest enough to tell you, I've had GarageBand on a lot of my, my devices before. And on my Mac, never really paid attention to it. I thought it maybe was just one of those where you pull up the drum set and touchpad and make drum noises, or, it had pre-programmed keyboard sounds you could tootle around. I never really paid that much attention to it until he told me he was recording on it. And we've just kind of had on and off conversations, and I've seen his SoundCloud announcements that he's made on Facebook. And we both just got kind of excited when we realized, and he was telling me, and I'm telling his story for him. He's sitting right here. Once we went into the restrictions, is that when you got more involved with it? Short story, make the story shorter than me, please.
Yeah, it's when I decided, okay, let me try to complete a project, even if it's kind of rough, but get to the end of the song and just get a chance to share it with people. Yeah.
Cool. And so he did. And then we did a session last week, which I thought was a great introduction, called Making Music at Home. And the conversation has just gotten lively around here about doing this. And other people said, yeah, well, I do that, and I do this, and I do that. And so after last week, I have to be honest with you. This is me being honest. And I was still nervous to do it. I was still like, he made it sound easy, but I don't know that I really believe it's that easy to do. So what I'm going to do real quick is, Stephen, I did it. I'm just going to show you. I went home and I said, all right, if we're going to encourage everybody else to do it, then I need to be brave enough to do it too.
Cool.
So I don't know. I don't have my interface hooked up. Is it still going to play without it? Can you tell me that?
I'm not too sure. Let's see. Yeah, it should be fine since you're.
All right. So here's what I did. I just want to show everybody what I did. Down here in the bottom, I think you can see my mouse moving around. That's the GarageBand. I clicked on that and I opened it. And this is what you've seen. It automatically loaded the last project that I did. And so you can look up here and you can see there's the country guitar or country gent. Kyler, is that an amp setting? Is there an amp called the country gent?
Yeah, basically GarageBand, they just have models, whether it's amplifiers or vocals or drum sets of different, that's like a Fender Tweed amp, but they can't call it Fender.
All right. So here's what happened. I recorded a guitar track and then this button right here, add a track. I got my acoustic bass off the rack and I added that setting. If you look over here, it tells you what you're doing. That's actually the drum setting that I wound up using, and then a vocal setting. So no judgment. I just want to show you that I sat down with it, and it freaked me out. That's why I'm going to play it for you and then ask you some questions. I'm not going to play the whole thing, okay? I got to turn it up. Man, let's try it again. So Oklahoma, driving in a Pontiac, just about to lose my mind. I was going to Arizona, maybe man, I'm bad. Where the people always so fine. I'm talking about metronome wise. My baby said I was crazy. My mama called me lazy. I was gonna show him all this time. Cause I ain't no foolin'. I don't need no more schooling. I was born to. So there it is. And here's the questions I have for you real quick. Number one, I played an acoustic guitar. So I'm gonna mute everything else. Why did it make my guitar? Is this the amp setting?
Yeah, you have like amp modeling on the acoustic.
And I just picked an easy 2-chord song because I didn't want to think about playing. Okay, so then I played, it was an Ibanez acoustic bass, and and you can hear a lot more fret buzz when it's just the channel, but it changed the sound. And so when we got down to the vocals, and listen, the vocals are me at 12 o'clock at night, trying not to wake my wife and the dogs up. So, but this is what I was asking Stephen earlier. I chose bright vocal. Originally, I chose compression, and it really squeezed it down and it sounded weird. So I tried to go back into the channel and change it a little bit, and it wouldn't let me. So my question is, once you record it with whatever setting you choose over here, that's what you got, right?
I believe so, but I don't know if Kyler knows more.
Except I think I can come down in the control panel and move some of these buttons.
Right. Yeah, you should be able to change it down there at the bottom. I mean, you're on the drum kit right now, but
okay.
Click.
So
plug in that's built into software, you should be able to change.
Yeah, I can move it. See it moving. But so here's the bottom line question I have for you. I did not see anywhere in here, and if either one of you guys know, tell me. If you don't, then we'll ask all the people that are hanging out with us. How do I I just want to play my acoustic in there and then mess with it. Can you do that, or do you have to pick a preset model?
Well, whenever you add a new track, Derek.
Right? Let's do it. Add a new track.
And this is where it gets kind of confusing, because you would think, oh, if I'm playing my acoustic, I need to press the guitar.
Which is what I did, correct?
But you would actually just press the microphone.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that means your signal is unaffected.
So here's audio 4. So if I don't choose anything over here in the library, it's just going to record what comes in the input.
Right. And I would recommend doing that for anybody whenever you're first recording, because you're just hearing the instrument from your interface. Most of the time, you're hearing it before it even gets into the processing. So there's no reason to even mess with any of the plugins basically that are built in until after you've recorded it.
So I could have recorded my vocals this way and then gone down here and added compression or, whatever else I wanted to, some reverb.
Right.
Hey, look, we learned, Steven.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. I just wanted to show you I did it.
No,
I
that's
just wanted to
great.
show you, and it's easy. It's not easy. It's probably easy to get it in and really hard to make it sound good enough to get it back out where somebody else wants to go, man, that's awesome. But you know what I mean? It's not that hard to get started. And that's really kind of the whole point of what we're talking about is just jumping in and doing something. And I think that there is a wise saying that says, if you want to be an expert, spend 15 minutes a day for 5 years and you'll be the expert. So it's not a short process. It's not necessarily an overnight process. The more time you spend with it, obviously, the better you get. But I just want to encourage you, if you've had any considerations at all, then I need you to know that, hey, sorry, as I hit my computer, if I can do it, I bet you can do it. So the hardest part for me, and I'm going to be honest with you guys too, I've been nervous all day about this because we're presenting some things today. And you know how it is when you're getting ready to do a concert or you're getting ready to do a performance or you got a gig and you haven't ever presented what you're going to before. I'm excited, nervous, good nervous. So I hope you guys are too. We at the stores, again, this same conversation just kind of started spreading. And I was sitting at an office and I'm going to let Miss Alex in. Alex Calentine popped in my office. Alice works in our Odessa store. Very outgoing, very fun to hang out with. She goes, so are you going to let us do it? And if you know me at all, I'm concentrating on something else. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you going to let us do it? Am I going to let you do what? Are you going to let us do the store song video thing? Don't know what you're talking about. So she said, well, I'll let her explain. First of all, hi, Alex.
Hello.
All right. So tell everybody, and we've got to do the short version because I've already gone too long. Where did the idea come from? What was the original concept that you had? And then before you went to Tim, how did you think? What did you think?
Yeah. So I guess it kind of stemmed off of what Stephen was doing. We were talking about kind of his presentation that he was giving last week. And I was just trying to think of ways that we as a store could be involved in that. Something that would be fun, but would also allow us to use our knowledge and kind of test those of us who maybe weren't so well versed in the recording process and the mixing and mastering, and just kind of getting a better idea of how to do this and how to help different people who are coming into the store know about it too, and saying, oh, well, I have never done this before. Let me show you how I did it.
Right.
So
Cool.
That was kind of the idea, just a way to do it.
All right. So quickly, we said we were going to do it. And again, understand that these people don't get to demonstrate this. Everything's working at the music store that we sit around and play guitars and sing songs and do karaoke and, jam. We don't do that. I don't know very much of any time that people actually spend doing what they're skilled at the music store. I don't know what their concept was when they got here, but this was a chance for us to say, we really are musicians. We really are. Stephen and I were talking about this. I had no idea we had this kind of talent hanging out in the stores. So what was the guidelines that you gave everybody to do it? This is 1 week ago, right?
Yeah. So a week ago, we basically randomly chose a song off the top 10 of like pop, funk, jazz, and country. Some of them were top 10 of all time, and some of them were recent. So like the Odessa store got a really recent song that none of us have heard of. But yeah, so each store got assigned a song, and basically they just had to come up with a way to do it, whether that was to duplicate what had already been done by the artist, or to come up with a new way to look at it. And you had to use people in your store. You couldn't use, Joe off the side of the road. It had to be your store's employees.
Cool. So let's transition right into the Odessa story. Andrew can't be with us. Andrew Carey, one of our guys up front. Alex and Andrew kind of run the front end for us. I guess you just shared the response. He did recording, you did video. What was the concept? What song did you get? What was your concept? And then how did you do it?
So we got Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Again, none of us had ever heard it. So we all kind of sat together and listened to it. He kind of took over more of the recording portion and I took more of the video portion. So we kind of felt like it had kind of an 80s pop vibe to it. And so we kind of ran with that. So as far as video effects went, everything was geared more towards like an 80s themed music video, but with a little bit of that pop in there. And I know that he did the same thing with the audio recording.
He's not here. Do you know what he used to record?
Yeah, he used Reaper, which is the software that he used. And the way he did it is he had everybody record like 28 different takes of themselves doing the same thing over and over again. So no matter if we messed up or whatever, we just kept going. And then he was able to look at all of those tracks and get them condensed down into something that was really solid and clean and clear as far as musicality goes.
So he was doing quantity over quality necessarily. I mean, you hope every take's great, but
yeah, I would hope.
Was it like a cut and paste kind of?
Not like cut and paste, but like maybe, hey, this intro sounded really good, as in
by sections.
Yeah, by sections. Like your intro was really good, but your ending was just bad. So we cut that and put an ending from a different take on it. Cool. It also allowed us to go ahead and add on different instruments that we didn't have 20 different people here who played 20 different instruments. So we were able to kind of double record for those of us who did 2 or 3 different things. Like I added some harmonies on some stuff and it was just able to do that.
And you may have said this and I didn't hear it earlier. This is all played by people in the store. Now, some of us used drum tracks because we didn't have drummers, but everything else was input or played by a person in the Odessa store.
Yeah, so we even had like Kylie, who works with us. She went ahead and got some little shakers, and at one point was doing some little egg shakers in it. And
Awesome.
We even went as far as to our recording, and our video was done by Cassie, who works in our collections department. She went ahead and videoed everything for us.
Cool. All right. So guys, if you'll do me a favor and mute your mics, because your mic will defeat the audio on the video, I am going to give you the premiere of the Odessa Stores recording. I've got so many things up now, I have to find it. We'll see if this does it. Nope. I have hidden it well. I think I just have to get out of the Facebook and we'll be fine. There it is, found it. Okay. Odessa Stores video, their premiere begins now.
sky. So I hit the road in overdrive. Hey. The city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when you're gone. And I said, oh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. I just want you trying to let you know I can never say it on the phone. We'll never let you go this time. I said, oh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, oh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So did it turn out the way you wanted it?
Yeah. Yeah. We
was
liked
any of
it.
it more of a was there any more of a challenge, like one part you didn't think that was going to be that hard, or something you thought was going to be hard just kind of clicked and worked? Or any last comments?
No, I think that musicality wise, we worked really intense on that and just trying to get that kind of as perfect as we could. And then the rest of it, the video, we just kind of were silly, had fun, kind of put things randomly together. And that's kind of about who we are, as a bunch of random fun people. So
I can vouch for that. Awesome. Thank you. So that's the Odessa video. Awesome job. And you're going to the waiting room. Bye. Who do we got next? Somebody look at the agenda, see who I'm supposed to let in next.
Should be Kevin, I believe.
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin, the Alito store. And I actually think that Kevin has Chris Kearns with him, who is the manager of that store. Kevin does purchasing for us and also, helps up in the front of the store. You guys hear us yet? We good? Kevin and Chris, let us know when you can hear us, please.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. There you are. So this is Kevin Reddick. And Kevin, as I understand it, you said that you did the music part of this and Chris did the video part of this?
Yes.
Cool. So again, first of all, the song that you got was?
Fly Me to the Moon.
So tell me about your concept. What did you come up with? How did you implement it? What did you use to record, etc.? And then we'll watch the video.
Okay, so when we got Fly Me to the Moon, it was one of those songs that we could have kind of covered it verbatim, but it probably wouldn't have turned out too great given our instrumentation. And we don't really have a solid vocalist or anything here. So what we decided to do was an instrumental version of it. So I actually took the music home and came up with kind of a loop of the chord progression and a little drum group to go over that for tracking purposes. Then I brought a little mobile rig here to the store. And we tracked Samson playing trombone and Chris playing bass over that music loop. Then I kind of let the style of that kind of determine the final product. And I took it back home, changed some of the drum grooves up, and replayed some of the guitar parts to fit how Samson played the trombone and stuff like that. So
did he do a lot of the arrangements for the trombone, or was he involved in the music part of it?
So all of the trombone stuff was all him. So essentially, I had the chord progression and kind of had a styles, kind of like a little ska groove over it. So we kind of had the feel of it, and then he had the idea to do like the plunger and stuff like that. So
cool. I'm going to say this too. If you don't know Samson, fantastic woodwind repairman. He's also part of a group called Madeline. I believe that's correct. And they're awesome.
They're fantastic.
I saw him playing in that. And if you like ska, they're pretty awesome. So, Chris, tell us about the video real quick. How'd you do it? What'd you mix it in?
So kind of going back to what Derek's been saying this whole time, if you ever don't be afraid to just jump in. So I had the luxury of the Adobe Creative Suite at my disposal, but I was a little rusty and it had been a while. But the vision for it was kind of this, since we were going with ska, kind of those late 80s, early 90s music videos.
Right.
And one of those things where about halfway through I figured out, okay, if I finish this the way I want to, you'll see the intro and it's a little different from just your classic performance video at the end. It was one of those things where I had to figure out, okay, given the time, I need to do something a little bit simpler and better versus this super ambitious thing. But as far as the stuff, I mean, cell phones and multiple takes. It's like we said, you don't have to have this super fancy equipment. And honestly, Apple and many production companies have been spending the past decade or so just making these super user-friendly, easier things to make your own videos. I mean, geez, things you can do with iMovie now are just incredible.
Cool. Steven, Kyler, any questions?
What software did he use, Kevin?
I use Persona Studio One. I have Studio One Pro version 4. But like everything I did for this, you could actually do a Studio One Prime or Artist. Prime
is that just what you started on? Is that why you use that? That's what you know?
Yeah, and essentially the first semi-nice interface I got came with Studio One Artist. I just kind of upgraded from there as there's been sales. Like they like to do sales on Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. So I'll just upgrade my software from there. And yeah.
Personas available at Intune Music and Sound.
And the preamps sound great. So things awesome.
Cool. Kyler, anything?
Well, I was kind of curious. Did you do the arranging of the song, Kevin? That's kind of what I thought was the coolest thing about your video.
Yeah.
The fact that you created your own arrangement.
Yeah. So as far as having the intro versus the Fly Me to the Moon part, that was arranged before we actually did the tracking. I tracked that myself. I kind of had the feel of the song. And I had it set up where it was kind of looping through like 3 or 4 times the whole chart so we can do solos or whatever we want to do. And then we kind of edited it down and picked.
There's the guitar player.
Yeah.
We could play solos as long as we wanted to.
Exactly. And I had to fight myself from putting a shredding 80 solo in there, but I didn't think it was appropriate in this song.
It's not fair to everybody else. I've already seen you play this.
Yes.
You got chops, brother. I'm impressed. What is that, Chris? One more thing before we go to the premiere?
I was going to say I had to resist putting lightning effects over him during the solo, but for the kitsch.
A fan to blow his beard back as he played.
I do think they have the best name, by the way. You'll see the name.
We'll let them see that.
Group.
All right. So this is and everybody mute, please, so we don't defeat the Alito store. The song is Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah. I like it. Any comments, Stephen Kyler?
No, it's just cool. It's cool to see.
Great chops, man.
Yeah, some trombone chops and a cool take on a tune that just kind of
A standard, yeah.
redid it in a way that was their sound. You know.
Any last comments from the Alludo store? You're muted. We appreciate y'all. Here, I can unmute you from here.
Yeah, I need more cowbell.
Needed more cowbell. By the way, awesome intro. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to boot you out. Please don't be offended.
Not at all.
And, thank you for playing. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let in. Actually, it is time for Midland. Am I correct on that?
You're correct.
Awesome. It's probably actually past time, but you know. So you were in charge there, right? That was you?
Together we use Logic Pro.
You're going to have to back up because somebody accidentally muted you because the order of the
Okay.
people keeps changing.
Sorry. We use Logic Pro to record everything. So I basically just copied the original track and we just kind of use that as a template for us to record. Sean did all the video work for us. And the one thing that I really liked, we did a song called Drinking Alone by Carrie Underwood, which country is not our strong suit by any means. But I think we did a great job of, representing that song. But I like the fact that, every person that works in our store was involved in the video. So I was pretty proud about that.
Cool. So the song is called Drinking Alone. I guess that country people will be more familiar with that. That's a Carrie Underwood tune. You said you did it in Logic.
Yeah, we did it in Logic Pro.
Now, is that
But-
just a big brother to GarageBand? I've heard that.
Yeah, it's $200 normally. And you just have more features, and it's like one thing that we might go into at a later date, but I use what's called automation. So automation is great because you can actually adjust volumes without doing compression. Because compression gives you a certain sound, which can be a good thing. But then the automation is great because you can kind of swell things in and take things out, and I think it just kind of helps songs flow better if you're actually recording them and releasing them.
Okay. Did you do straight takes? Obviously people are in different places doing this. It wasn't a band all at one place at one time doing that. Did you do multiple takes? How did you go about the recording process?
Yeah, I think most people did multiple takes. And the way I work, I'm kind of a fan of trying to get the best take that we can. And I might work section by section just to make it easier. Because if it's a song you're not super familiar with, it's easy to do a verse and a chorus rather than doing the whole song front to back.
Any questions, Stephen?
No, I find it working in sections. It makes it.
Cool. All
Well,
right.
especially if you're recording separately, I should say that it might be easier to record if you had everybody all together just to run the song all the way through. But recording remotely, for me, that seems to work better.
Cool. So you ready to premiere?
Yeah, let's watch it.
All right. This is Carrie Underwood's Drinking Alone as interpreted by the Midland Store. Once again, guys, I'm going to ask you to mute, please. And here they go.
Let me make one thing clear. You can buy me a beer, but you ain't taking me home. No pickup lines. I came here tonight to shed a few tears on my own. Sitting there across the room, I couldn't help but notice you seemed a little down on your love too. Yeah, my heart might be breaking. This seat ain't taking. You got me thinking we should be drinking alone together, drowning the pain. It's better with somebody else who's got problems. We ain't gonna solve them, 'cause misery sweet chaser and a corner kiss to make me forget that he's gone. Oh, we should be drinking alone. We should be drinking alone together. I don't know what she did to make you hurt like this, but I know just what to do. It starts with a bottle of good red Posado and ends with a shooter or two. Tomorrow when the sun comes up, tonight's a night that never was. Baby, just forget my name. Won't be your one and only, 'cause just 'cause we're lonely don't mean that we should be drinking alone together. It's better with somebody else who's got problems. We ain't gonna solve them. Misery loves company. Tonight all I need is a stranger lips with a whiskey chaser and a corner kiss to make me forget that he's gone. Oh, we should be drinking alone. Oh, we should be drinking alone. Oh, I'll pretend that I can't, baby. Pull up a chair. Stay here till the beggars go home. We should be drinking alone. Oh, we should be drinking alone together, joining the pain. It's better with somebody else who's got problems we ain't gonna solve. Misery loves company. Tonight all I need is a stranger lips with a whiskey chaser and a corner kiss to make me forget that he's gone. Oh, we should be drinking alone.
Wow. Who was that girl? Where do I, she like take fan mail or? Just so everybody knows, that's my wife. So, what do you think, Steven? Comments?
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a cool deal to see the stores get excited about this. And to complete something and just the variety of sounds that we hear. Like you hear individual musicians' influences in the sounds that they're putting out.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see all that come together.
And that was people in that store playing. There was Ibra, our guitar teacher. Kyler,
Right.
I find it interesting that I recognize your tone, but I never saw you on screen. You chose to put Sharona on instead of you.
Yeah, I somehow managed to get by with that. And then one thing I want to point out, I don't know how many people notice this, but if you notice the pedal steel, that's actually Joe playing the pedal steel,
The amazing Joe Shepard. Yep.
which I might call him the infamous and mysterious one because he's hard
The
to get on
elusive.
camera sometimes. The elusive Joe Shepard.
I thought it was a great job, Kyler. Anything else? Any challenges y'all had to overcome or anything that you thought, wow, that wasn't as easy as I thought?
I could say with certainty it was not as easy as I thought it would, going from start to finish in 1 week. And I think that's one thing everybody that worked on this would probably agree with. We might have our own pace that we're used to working on stuff, but I don't think anyone here probably works with those type of deadlines. I might be wrong about that, but I just think it was a good challenge for us, and and we made it work. It might not be perfect, but we got it done and turned it in.
Hey,
in
listen,
time.
man, I don't think the goal was perfection. I am just overwhelmed at what everybody did in a week's time. So
Right.
awesome job. Now, I'm not going to kick you out, but I'm going to let Andrew in our Abilene store. And this was the kind of the big unknown for me as he gets in here. I will admit that I didn't, when I met Andrew, he said, I play violin and drums. And I thought, all right, interesting combination. I didn't know what else anybody else played. I mean, I know Trevor sang, and I know he plays guitar. I know he leads worship, but didn't know necessarily. And I guess I knew Zach is just a good all-around musician. But hey, everybody, this is Andrew Miller, and he works in our Abilene store, and he works on the sales floor. I don't know what else you do, so I'll leave that at that. We want to say hi, and I want you to tell us what your song was. Tell us what the concept was, how you did it, and how you made it happen.
So what we did was Superstition by Stevie Wonder. So, and I guess we kind of let our personalities come together to make the goofiest, most funny song we can.
Can I tell you something real quick? Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
When they said, yeah, we gave Abilene Superstition, I was like, you did what? Yeah, we gave him Superstition. You pick one of the most beloved, widely known, you better do a decent job of it songs. I mean, why did you do that? They were like, oh, we just, that's what they got. So I'm going to tell you up front, I think y'all nailed it. But at first I was like, that's a tough song. I don't know if y'all felt that way or not.
No, it was super collaborative. So we accepted the challenge from Alex, and we all came together and really thought of ideas and sat down and really talked to each other, figuring out what would work, what doesn't. And a few days later, we ended up sitting down and tracking everything. And from there, it was really straightforward.
So what did you use? What did you record in?
Oh, we used Logic.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did Kaylin help you with that, is what you told me?
Yeah, so actually I was the one in charge of actually making sure everything got recorded, and did a little bit of mixing along the way just to make sure that our monitor levels were okay when we were recording. Kaylin really sat down and did like the whole compression and EQ for every channel, but it was fairly straightforward. We had
Kaylin Sims is also another guy on the floor in the Abilene store. And if you call, a lot of times he answers, and he's got one of those cool voices to listen to. You're like, oh, that's pleasant. So video wise, what happened?
Oh yeah, so we decided to make it like a Zoom FaceTime meeting type deal. We thought it would be super funny to go home, record all the stuff, be as goofy as we all possibly could, and just send the stuff into me. I tossed it all into Final Cut, and we have the final video.
Awesome. Is there anything we need to know before we premiere it? Or do you guys have questions, Stephen and Kyler?
No. It's just I want to see it.
Okay. You good, Kyler?
Yeah, I think they probably had the funniest video. I really appreciated it, Andrew.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So let me make sure I'm doing stuff right again. Everybody mute. Make sure we don't walk on top of it. And where is Abilene? There you guys are. Put it back to the beginning.
All right, is everyone here and ready to go?
Very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious light is about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of Babylon, the good things in the past. When you believe in things you don't understand and you suffer, the superstition made the way. Very superstitious superstitious. Wash your face in hands. Rid me of the problem. Do all that you can. Keep me in the daydream. And keep me going strong. No, you don't want to save me. That is my song. Yeah. When you believe in things you don't understand and you suffer, superstition ain't the way. Very superstitious. Nothing more to say.
Guys? Hello? Hello?
Loved it, man. That was awesome. I appreciate the attitude that you took toward it. Just great. So I have to ask, did you say, yeah, guys, I'll do this, but I'm getting a drum solo?
No, it actually came by because Trevor thought it would be a funny idea if we cut it off at nothing more to say. And so I did a fill there, and Trevor's like, we should fill that last section up with nothing but solo. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
And I got to be honest, I didn't know Zach was that funny. That was great.
Oh yeah,
So-
he had some great tennis racket chops.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thanks for sharing. Any comments from Steven or Kyler before I let him go?
I'm good.
No, that was great. Thanks, Andrew. Abilene Store. Awesome job. So there you have it. That's what our guys and gals have been doing. And it all kind of stemmed out of this concept of let's make some music at home. Let's redeem the time, as it were. Let's find constructive things to do. And I'm gonna be honest, everybody just had fun. Everybody was smiling. Everybody was excited to well, except Sharona. She always worries about that kind of stuff. But it was great. And so I know Tim and I are both very appreciative of the effort that everybody put into it and that everybody worked so hard. Steven, what a great concept that you kind of brought up with this whole make music at home deal. And we're not done with that. Now you've seen them. Now we've premiered them. And I'm inviting Rick to help me explain this, or at least do the logistics of it. But what we'd like to do is we'd kind of like to get your opinion on it. We'd like to know what you think about the videos that our stores have made. So between now and Friday, we kind of want you to vote. We want you to say, I like this. And hey, you vote for what you like. I mean, I can't imagine it would get any more eclectic in style or presentation. That's just awesome. So Rick, how do we do it, man? What do we do?
All right. Number one, everybody did a wonderful, wonderful job. I really appreciate it. We're going to open this up on our website for voting. We're going to make it real simple. We'll also put a link in the description here on the Facebook. But we're going to go to intunemusic.com/vote. And on there,
VOTE. Yeah.
VOTE, and on there you'll be able to watch all of the videos in their entirety, and then pick which one you like and vote for it.
That's actually where I was playing them from, was from our webpage. So intunemusic.com/vote. It'll be up till Friday. I assume you'll be keeping the tabulations. I don't know if they'll be visible on site as it happens, but and as he said, it'll be on our Facebook. We'll try to stick it in all of our social media so you can find that. Support these people. They worked hard. They did a great job. I'm very proud of them. Anything else we need to know about it, Rick? As far as voting?
No, I don't think so. And I do believe it will keep tabs of the count as it's going on the website. And we just encourage you to get on and vote. Invite all of your friends to go on and watch the videos and vote. Let's show some support for all this hard work these guys did.
Yeah, they did great. So I'm going to recap real quick. We are going to be opening Intune Music and Sound. All 4 locations will be open Friday morning, 10 o'clock. 25% capacity is what we are allowed according to the governor. So you be patient with us. We'll be patient with you. We'll work through this thing together. We would like to encourage you to wear masks. We're going to try and do the same. Let's protect each other. Still so many things unknown. So we just want to use wisdom. Also, if you're not feeling well, we still have online. We'll be glad to get that to you. That way you can pick it up and you don't have to come in and share what you got. And I don't mean that rude. I'm just saying, I hope you can appreciate that other customers will appreciate that as well. So that's going to happen Friday morning. We're going to be voting until Friday on the videos that you just saw. Stephen, what do you say we do another one of these next Tuesday? Let's kind of see what the next step is. Maybe Kyler, you can show us some logic, and I'll see if I can find somebody else. And maybe Kevin will come back and show us, you know, the Persona software he's using. What do you think?
Yeah, my goal is that for people that have interest in this, that it doesn't stop here. You know, yes, it was really nice to see everybody in the stores enjoy themselves for a moment in time, especially with all the stuff that we're dealing with. But I hope that this sparks an interest that people can continue to do this. It's fun, and it's fun to see how creative people really are. And we got some talented people amongst our stores. It was cool. Good job, all.
And I'm just going to say, we've kind of explored the garage band. Stephen and I have. That's where we are. That's our step in the journey. And that's okay, because we're both looking to, and I think there's more to find there. And I'm going to still work on mine some more. And maybe, next Tuesday, we can start with just you and me. Or not just us on it, but I'm just saying we can start where we are again and say, I went and looked at this, did that. And then kind of look at some steps up the ladder. You know, Kyler, you can take us to Logic, or I'm gonna call some of my friends too that do this and see if they will join us and tell us what they've used and what they've experienced, and kind of figure out. I hesitate to use this because we keep talking about the curve in a negative way right now, but there is a learning curve involved with stuff, and if we can make that curve less steep in your learning process, that's all we're trying to do. This is a conversation. None of us have a degree in musical engineering, and I lose words all the time. So I just, that thingamabob that you push over there to make this dooley whopper do what it's, that's kind of the speed and where I am in my journey. Hopefully there's somebody out there that can help pull me farther along. So any last comments from any of you guys?
The only question I have, is there a prize for whichever store that wins? Is it just pride?
Yeah, you get to keep going. Keep working here.
No, I was just going to say, everybody please vote. And I think we'll have another announcement and show coming Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk some more.
Tune in again Friday.
Yes.
When on Friday we're going to do the, we'll show who won between the stores, and we do. And I probably should say that we've got something else cooking that I think that our folks that are involved with this out there will enjoy. I don't know. Your turn. Does that mean anything? So we'll talk more about it Friday, and we'll see what we can do to make this fun for everyone. Y'all be safe. God bless you. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and we'll see you Tuesday, 2:00.